These animals punched above their weight. In 2018, New York police got an unusual call.
My partner, Officer Dawson, received a call to a residence where a squirrel had broken in and was eating cookies in the kitchen. When we got to the residence, the homeowner was actually trapped inside. The squirrel had almost barricaded itself in between the resident and the door. It was sitting in front of the door. As we entered into the kitchen, we noticed that the radio was playing very loud. And we were notified that the squirrel had turned on the radio. The squirrel came down and kind of ran up the table there in the kitchen and jumped off the table and ran up my arm and off my arm onto Officer Dawson. And then at that point in time, the squirrel ran out of the apartment, came back into the apartment. Believe it or not, it kind of wedged itself in between the stove. So we were able to pull the stove back, and I was able to get a hold of it. Luckily, I had my gloves on because it did bite down onto my glove. But we successfully removed it from the apartment and brought it outside, and I released it, and it ran up a tree, and that was that.
From 2023, this animal was ferocious. Well, as ferocious as a tiny squirrel can be. The injured and orphaned squirrel was rescued by a jewelry store owner in Turkey and given the name Mimikin. While his injuries healed, Mimikin was given free range of the store, and he picked up a new career skill, protecting the cash register. Mimikin's rescuer Mehmet said it immediately stepped in when strangers attempted to take the money and gold from the cash register and attacked. The squirrel got so protective of the money, Mimikin wouldn't even let store employees besides Mehmet near the cash register. Although the two created a bond, Mehmet released the squirrel after his paw was healed. In 2017, this police detective was under attack from a goose. Sergeant Ray Hall of the Clarksville, Indiana PD had to use his bag to shield himself. Watch what happens when he makes a run for it.
When I was on my backside, I just happened to glance to my right very quickly, and there she was sitting on her nest and hissing at me, so I had to get out of there pretty quick.
We are being held hostage by this goose. As soon as we step foot out of our door, this is what happens. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Oh my gosh, that's almost...
In 2022, these Utah residents were on alert because a goose named Gangsta kept blocking their way.
Here comes the next victim. This isn't going to end well.
Before going outside, this guy protected himself with a snowsuit, motorcycle helmet, and a giant umbrella.
The only thing he doesn't like is this umbrella.
He and his wife posted this warning sign.
He would, they get that little head going down like that. It's just that. It's terrifying. But the dive bombing was the worst.
We were literally listening to yelling and screaming every day and night because everyone jogs right in the pathway.
Look at her, she's scared, she's scared.
Go, little girl, go.
I said to John, there has to be a nest somewhere in this area. Little did we know it was right in our front yard.
Once the babies were hatched, the goose escorted them to a nearby pond.
What's up, Goose? See, you're hissing at me and you think you're all big and bad? Quit sticking your tongue out at me. I will put you in a deep fryer.
In 2018, this bird was ready for a fight.
And you ready to fight? They told me you were a killer, Goose. I want to see what you're made of.
Wait for it.
Oh, hang on. What the?
Hank Russell recorded the encounter and admitted defeat.
I would not fight with that goose again. Oh, hang on. What the?
In 2015, these wild turkeys went postal, quite literally. They chased a mailman as he made his appointed rounds.
Every day.
He says this happened every day, and he used a pole to keep the flock away. From 2023, this dog didn't get taken without a fight. UK police said this intruder entered a home and dognapped a dachshund named Twiglet. With the alarm blaring and Twiglet barking, the suspect chased the dog, cornered it, and after some wrangling, walked out with it. Cops say Twiglet was found and returned to his owner the next day. But hopefully he taught this suspect a lesson. Don't judge a dog by its size.
We are currently in our garage, trapped.
In October of 2024, Dan and Michelle Arther were trapped inside their garage because of a swan.
Right there. Close it! Close it! Close it!
He's waiting to attack us, apparently. And, I don't know what we're gonna do. What do we do?
The belligerent bird was no stranger in their Nashville neighborhood.
I would try to go out there and shoo it away, and it just kind of nods at me like, you know, it doesn't care about me at all.
No, the swan is not shy.
After about 15 minutes, they reached out to a neighbor for help.
He comes over, he opens the door. He thought we were pranking him, and he's like, "This is the weirdest call I've ever had in my life."
Have you seen the swan since?
I see him in my nightmares.
Right there. Close it! Close it!
For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.